Hello, beautiful souls. You are now listening to a Cypher exclusive interview. We got
Big E.
over here, and this is my little brother. And I just thought to bring him up on the podcast form, maybe. Getting back into the scene. How is it going? So, what is up, little E? Big E.
No, I was just took a little time off to go fishing. Call my brother up to be like, let's go fishing.
Yeah.
Didn't catch anything, but it was a good day.
Yeah, it's not about how much fish you catch. It's about how much fun you have, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of reminds me of the thing, you ever heard the phrase it's not about the destination, but it's about the journey?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? Or
It's
can you
not,
explain for the folks what that means?
it's not about how you get there. It's
Right.
about all the things that got you there, kind of. Tell them more about it.
It's not about, you know, eventually I guess the whole thing is like you work, right? And then for X amount of years till you're so old, and then you retire, and then you live your life out in happiness. But a lot of people really are living day to day with they're thinking today what they're going to do on Friday, or they're planning out their planner for the next 2 months. And today, they've got so much to think about in all these other aspects that they can't even think about today. And that leads to a society of lost people running around like a chicken with their head cut off. Which I used to think, I mean, but that's not discouraging productivity or actually wanting to get things done, because yes, you should have a plan, and it is good to set out a plan of success of things to do, but not necessarily it's not that's good to do, but just don't let that be what you think the life is about, or the life is much more than where you're going or what you're doing. And what do you think? What do you think life is about, E?
Life is about going out and meeting people, but meeting the right people.
Okay.
Not the wrong people. You got to go out and find the right crowd to get yourself around,
Right.
so you can go down the right path and get your stuff together and just keep on going forward with life.
Right. A lot of people think that life is, some people think that there's this there's this philosophy called nihilism, which implies that nothing matters necessarily. So then why whatever. So it's pretty much like pessimism pushed to its furthest extent. And that just comes from people developing that negative mindset and letting that. So what do you think are some good ways to develop a positive mindset, to move in a positive direction?
To move in a positive direction, just don't always think so negative,
Mm-hmm.
and like when negative stuff come to your mind, think about something positive instead of negative.
Mm-hmm. What would you define like negative and positive? What differentiates those?
Negative is like, oh, wait, negative is like, oh, dude, we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that, man. And
Mm-hmm.
positive is like, we might get that, but if we don't, it's still gonna be all right, so it'll be okay.
Yeah. Positive too could be, oh man, we ain't even, we already got that. You know what I'm saying, bro? Because we already got that. That's also, I think. the biggest thing. So life, for I think personally, I think life is about constant improvement. You look in nature, life is about change, and hopefully that change is in a positive direction, because life is always going to change. You look at nature, the seasons, the trees lose their leaves to grow it back. You know, everything shuts down and goes to sleep a little bit in the winter and wakes back up and is active in the summer. And that's also like life in the mind goes through phases and portions where we feel like we're sleeping in the winter, and then we feel a new shining light of hope, and then it's like we're awakened in the summer. So, so what I'm trying to say, like, we have like seasons in life.
So what would you say? Yeah, would you have good seasons and bad seasons, or what would you say? Like,
Right. Well, I see, but I think the concept of good and bad, because something could be seen as bad,
but not be bad.
but also in retrospect, it could have been something that prevented something even worse from happening, or that taught you a good lesson that will help your, like, I believe I have like a pretty crazy past and stuff, but you could look at it and say that's bad, but then also you could look at it and say now I'll be able to help minister to people that is in those places and that come from those places, or it's trying to get out of those places. You know what I'm saying? So I think we kind of have our ideas of good and bad mixed up, or right. Like I feel like people like to say like then like right and wrong. They say if God is not real, then there's no judgment on what right and wrong is. So then we would just live in a lawless life, and but obviously that's not true, because God is real and there are laws and rules, and we we don't function like we used to. You don't live in caves in the forest for scourging for food, so
Yeah,
we have to adapt our minds to like the modern day. You got any questions?
not like that.
No, just any random questions. I mean, like transitioning. It could be it's just about something totally else.
No, I'm good.
Or just think of a question. 5 seconds. Come on. Dang. Okay, then I got a question then. Okay, I got a question. If you if you could do anything perfectly, but it could only be one specific thing, what would you want it to be? Or yeah, what would you want it to be?
Not having a negative thought in my mind, cause that would make the whole world better.
So then you would want to be able to just like positive thinking and stuff, or
Yeah.
be able to. That's actually a good, because when I asked that question, like I thought some people might say, like skate or sing, but but I think a true mark of wisdom is actually wanting to seek that wisdom. You got a question now? Bro, come on, bro, wake up.
If hmm,
If
what
what?
um, if you could walk up a mountain
Okay.
and look at anything, what would you look at first? Like go
Over,
over a mountain, like a big
like
tall mountain, like
hopefully a sunset, or like something
sunset.
peeking over the horizon,
Maybe
like
like
over the plains.
maybe like a sunset, but it's pink
Oh, a
kind of.
sunrise, a sunrise, yeah, yeah,
Sunrise, just a little pink
sunrise, just
rise.
early, right,
Yeah.
early in the morning.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah. Sit
remember.
on there, chilling.
Yeah. So, what is your happy place? My happy place is sitting on this like hill overlooking like a pasture of flowers, just like endlessly. like in the breeze and stuff?
My happy place would probably be. You ever seen one of those? I don't know if they have it. Have you ever seen one of those bushes, and you can pull it apart and open up to a door?
Yeah.
It's like a house kind of. I want that was like just chilling there, playing some Xbox games or PlayStation games or something, chilling with friends.
Bro. You got a question? We're gonna do another question and then bring it in for a wrap up because.
Now you ask a question. I don't got one.
Okay. If you could be any animal for one day, what animal would it be? And where?
Probably a bear in Antarctica or something.
Oh, like a polar bear,
Yeah.
bro. That's so
Not a
real.
polar bear. I want to be one of those white bears.
Yeah, that's a polar bear.
Yeah, I'm a polar bear.
That's so cool.
So I can just mess up trees and eat. See how it feels to live in wildlife.
It'd be so raw.
And be like run up to people, don't eat them, just scare them.
I've seen like me and my kids watch like nature documentaries, and polar bears are like usually super chill unless something tries to mess with them.
They get some weird kid shows. What the
No,
heck?
we was watching like Discovery Channel nature documentaries. I don't usually watch those kind of kid shows. I don't like my kids watching that stuff. I think I would like to be like an eagle, like on a mountain. What? On the top of just a mountain up super high with like my family in the little nest.
Yeah.
But okay, so I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and hopefully this will get some motion. So, and if it does, then I'm gonna have to make you do more podcasts with me, cause this guy doesn't like podcasting apparently, but it's cool. It's cool. But I do appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope that y'all appreciate it in the comments. What is do you want to shout out any social medias to follow you on? No.
I don't know my YouTube.
We gotta get all your social medias in one name so you can be easily found. I don't even have mine in one name. All right. Well, if y'all liked it, like, comment, share to a friend, and hit that subscribe. And I'll see you next time. This is your host, Chris Cypher, and see ya in a little bit.